Hello, hello, hello. How's it going tonight, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is stream time indeed. Yeah, this deck looks really sweet. I'm excited to check it out. Yeah, D-Many. The competitive commander thing, I don't know. I enjoy more, at least slightly casual combatter. What's up, Scald, Apes of Wrath, 9? Welcome, welcome. I know. So the mismatch arenas. I have one arena because I've used it in Commander before, but I've never actually played it in Constructed. Hey, Rule Savior, thanks for the follow. So I borrowed two of them, and these were the cheapest ones, and they kind of look cool. These are the theme deck ones. PoHS, thanks for the follow. What's up, Spiky Bobcat? No, that's alright. We can play a lucky... Thanks for the follow, Spiky Bobcat. We can play one lucky arena. So, Odinolf, thanks for the follow. Lots of follows right off the bat. Very cool, thank you, everyone. So yeah, we played a Suicide Black aggro-ish deck on Budget Magic this week. So this is kind of the upgrade of it. I think Arena is better than Bob in this deck because Arena only loses us one life. And we're playing like 5 drops and lots of 4 drops, so Bob would be really painful. Govern Fool 720. Hello, little brother of Govern Fool 720. Welcome to both of you. No, this is MTG Lexicon. Thank you for the follow. This is really a upgraded version of our Budget Magic, is what I would consider it. It's quite a bit different. The new set comes out on MTGO a week from tomorrow. So we pretty much need to get through one more week of not Eldritch Moon stuff, and then we'll have a ton of Eldritch Moon stuff for probably like a month after that. Oh, well, I'm glad you're catching it, Kobasar. I'm glad you made it. So, this deck was not exactly built by me. This is someone else's deck. They 5-0'd a league with it. So that's why there's two Nykthoses. World Game Support. I wish I could remember the person's name and I would say it, but it's on the site if you look it up. And Nykthos is kind of eh. No, we usually start at 6. So anyway, what we're looking to do with this deck is get a bunch of black mana symbols on the battlefield, draw some Messenger, Obliterator, Arena, Liliana, to power up our Dark Confidant. Of course, Phyrexian Obliterator. Happy birthday, Jake. It's not actually my birthday. Is it your birthday? I'm so confused. Oh, welcome, Spinefist. Yeah, that's the problem with Nykthos. If we play too many, it makes everything off curve. Ooh, yeah, I'm getting a box to crack tomorrow. I'm excited. It will, I think on Sunday it'll get posted, hopefully. No Dark Confidant, but we do have Phyrexian Arenas. So basically, black mana symbols, good removal and Gatekeeper, Disfigure, Go for the Throat, Dismember, some discard, and then we have a very light red splash for Blood Moons and Vandal Blast in the sideboard to deal with artifacts and lands. We have 0 Urborgs. 0 Urborgs, which also felt weird. I would think you'd want at least a Urborg. It's kind of a free roll to play an Urborg in this deck. This will be on the MTG Goldfish replay YouTube. The entire stream, every entire stream is uploaded to the replay YouTube. So if you want to catch it later, that's the place to do it. Alright, enjoy work, Mobby. Or, Meow Abby. I always say your name completely wrong. I realize that because you you tweeted something to me the other day, and I was like, oh my lord, I have been butchering that name so bad for like months now. And then I realized I probably butcher everyone's name pretty badly. So, thank you for the follow, someone whose name I missed. Anyway, let's jump into a league with this Mono Black Devotion deck. I'm really excited about this deck. It looks fun. I like Mono Black Devotion. No pack rats this time around. Although I could see arguments for pack rats. Do I have enough? Hey, what's up, Action Gnome? We are playing some Mono Black Devotion in Modern. Yep. Red Panda, yours is an easy one. I can handle that. What do I think about Esper Mentor in Modern? I think it's reasonable. Each pack rat does add to Devotion. I like Vintage Cube. I like watching it, depending on who's drafting it. Yes, I do plan on going back to Double Moonwalkers, Balls McGee. Not only for potentially deploy the Gatewatch, but definitely for Tamiyo. Tamiyo seems so absurd in that deck. Your name's not Lunch? Luo? Luno. No, not Tamiyo in this deck. Oh, do you think the new Liliana could be a budget alternative to Liliana the Veil, I assume? Maybe? I mean, it's a huge downgrade, but in theory, I don't know if it would be better than just playing another 3-drop Vampire Nighthawk or something like that. Yeah, I think there are some people that are really good at Cube, and I really love Cube. It's one of my favorite formats, maybe my favorite format overall. But it depends on who drafts it. If someone's just like drafting a bunch of red 1-drops, that doesn't interest me. I want to see people making crazy decks and storming off or reanimating, just doing big, broken, powerful things. If you're doing that, then I enjoy watching it. I watched your mazes end against the odds, and I saw you got play points in a constructed queue. How? So the 2-player queues, actually most of the queues in Magic Online, pay out play points when you win, based on your record. But the 2-player queues, which is what I record all the against the odds on, except for Legacy sometimes, because it's hard to find matches there. But they pay out 30 play points if you win, and 5 if you lose, I believe. Something like that. And it costs 20 play points to enter. We got our sweet textless Damnations. This hand looks fine. Pretty curvy. Do I have a cube? No, I've started building cubes a whole bunch of times, but I've never actually completed a cube. I still have pieces of a cube that's like sort of in progress, but I don't have an actual fully built cube. I wish we had more textless cards on Moto. They just look so cool. Alright, Blood Crypt tapped, passed the turn. They took our Liliana. Has Moto fixed a weird color thing yet? I haven't noticed as many weird colors lately. Oh, lots of thought seizes. Are you good, you're bad? I'm slightly confused by that headshot guy. Oh, we're up against Jund, eh? Let's just thought seize here, and then we can play Relentless Dead next turn and leave up mana in case it gets bolded. Liliana Abrupt Decay, and alright, let's just take Liliana, I think, is the most annoying. I'm really good at Real Magic. I'm good in Real Magic. I get 8 first place tournament wins and 4 second places. Awesome, headshot guy. Have they fixed the X2 glitch? No, it's gotten worse. D-Many. So I was recording videos for, oh, I don't even remember now. Either next week's Budget Magic, which is going to be really awesome, or it might have been Much Brew About Nothing. And my opponent was playing a Genesis Wave deck, and they cast a Genesis Wave X3, and there was this 5-minute pause, and they obviously, you could see them clicking all their permanents on the battlefield, trying to figure it out. So it is still bugged, and it's bugged at different mana costs now as well. Against Odds Pull is odd this time. There are both cards of Phage, Whispers combo listed options, like putting Fluctuator inside on the same pull if you ever put 2 Legacy options. Yeah, that might have been a little weird, I guess, to put both of them there. I feel like we have to do something, but whatever we do, they're just going to kill and grow the Scavenging Ooze. Which doesn't feel good. I guess we can just keep waiting and hope we draw into... then they're going to start activating their Raging Ravine. Oh, this just feels bad. We needed a land. Is Goldfish going to provide the overlays for any of the upcoming GPs? I heard CFB is involved in GP Indy. Great, there's more coverage. I don't know. I know that it was... what's up, Vaults? It was CFB that reached out to us about doing it, so... if there's any GPs that are going to have Goldfish graphics, I would assume it would be GPs that CFB was involved in. I actually haven't heard if that was... I know they wanted to try it out and so forth, but I haven't actually heard if it's something that they're going to keep doing or not. I hope so. I thought it was cool. I thought their coverage was massively improved, and it sounds like Wizards is going to try to improve their coverage too, so... going to the 2... commentator booth, I think, is a good step. Adding more GPs is awesome. Oh, come on, land! Ugh. We are in trouble. We're pretty much dead because we didn't draw a land. We gotta run something out there, so we'll play Messenger. But all this does is grow the Goyf, and then we're dead next turn. Because Damnation won't save us because they can kill us with the Raging Ravine. So yeah, there's actually nothing we can draw to get out of this. Oh, that's a little disappointing. I think the double match coverage will push SAG to do the same. Or SCG to do the same, at least I hope so. Yeah, I would like to see SCG doing that as well. I know, I wish I was flooding. We really could have used one more land. Well, Whip of Erebos seems excellent. Blood Moon is very good against Jund. Can you cycle at instant speed? Yes, you can. You can cycle anytime you have priority. Renaud, thank you for the follow. How much money do you think the new Tamiyo will be worth? My guess would be $10 to $15 as far as where it stabilizes at. It could be, if it breaks out in a tier 1 deck, it could be more than that, but that would be my guess. Imperial and someone else whose name I missed, thank you so much. What's up, Snarfgasm? What's up, Captain Barbosa? Doing well, except we lost our first game of the first round against Jund. I don't know if we... Twisted Nails, thank you for the follow. I don't know if we need Damnation here, really. Needle on Liliana. We also have Lilianas, though, so I don't really want to... What's up, Stitches? I don't really want to Needle Liliana since we also have Lilianas. Sla OJ81. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, everyone, for the follows. Tons of follows. Since we're getting so many follows, I might as well mention again, the replay channel is where you catch all the old streams, so sub to that if you haven't on YouTube. And if you are new and you are looking for a sweet playmat, we still have Goldfish playmats. Sweet way to support the stream and the site. Needle on Scoos. Yeah, that is Scoos is a bit annoying for us, but hopefully we can just kill it. We have a lot of removal. I think the problem is we just got stuck on lands. What is just straight up bad in this match? Wolftran, thank you for the follow. Maybe go down a bit of discard. Yeah, that's fine. Let's try it like that. Thank you, Flashlighter. Is Mogus's Marauder too weak? Yeah, I think so. Maybe there'd be an argument to play it as like a one-of, but I don't know if it adds that much to the deck, really. What new standard deck do you think will be the most competitive with the addition of Eldritch Moon? Oh, man. Another mulligan. Apparently, this is just like manascrew.deck. I think we're going to have to keep this, though. I'm really excited for Spirits. I think Spirits has a chance to be really good. Will you do videos for Blue-White Spirits anytime soon? I'm really interested in playing that this season in Standard. I expect to do Blue-White Spirits videos. Still waiting for Moto to come out on... or Eldritch Moon to come out on Moto. Skinner, thank you for the follow. Yeah, apparently this deck does not like me. No Ink Eyes. DJ Abel's McBooty, thank you for the follow. Oh, yeah. I can fix that. There wasn't anything good in that part of my hand anyway, but I'll fix it. We're going to keep this and try to scry into a swamp. Alright, if we ever draw red mana, this will be really sweet. And we have 2 removal spells for Bobs and Goyfs and stuff. Could I be your dad? That would probably be difficult to actually pull off. But thanks for thinking of me. How many lands does this deck run? 16 Swamps, 2 Nykthos, 2 Blood Crypts, and 4 Bloodstained Mires, so 24? 24 lands, which actually seems like a pretty reasonable number. I think that's probably what you want. Our opponent knows about the Blood Moon, so they're going to be a little less effective, probably. No Legacy on the Against the Odds poll. It was just an oversight on my part, so it was just an accident. I didn't realize that I did not have a Legacy option on there, so my bad. I'll make sure that when we get back to the normal polls, there will be a Legacy option again. Dark Confidant, and a tap land. Now we get a swamp, get in with our Relentless Dead. Put our opponent down to 15. How did I like the Against the Odds suggestion I gave you on Twitter? Which one was it? Was it like Choice of Damnations? That was the most recent suggestion I remember getting, like today. Oh, are we just never going to draw our 4th land again? Oh, Bloodstained Mire would be so good. Bob hits another Bob. That's actually pretty good. If they're going to hit something, another Bob is a good one. Here comes a Raging Ravine. Man, a Red Source would just win us this game. Well, Liliana of the Veil. Do we even want to kill Bob? Yeah, I guess we might as well. Kill Bob, get in with Relentless Dead. Pass the turn. Anything on Against the Odds poll you're looking forward to playing? Most of the things I put on the Against the Odds poll... Ooh, Black Lightning Bolts. So there's still some color errors. Most of the things I put on against odds poll, I am like reasonably excited to play. Tarmogoyf for our opponent, and another Dark Confidant. Oh man, no lands. Well, tick up our Liliana, discard the Blood Moon since we're just never going to cast it. Relentless Dead, pass the turn. Oh, I feel like we are just getting running very poorly, really. We're probably dead to a lightning bolt. Oh, they didn't even attack us. Opponent exiles with Scavenging Ooze. We draw land, but I think it is just simply too late. If we draw on a land a turn or two earlier. Oh, man. Hey, you're welcome, DJ Ables McBooty. So, round one, double Mana Screw. Not the way I was hoping to start off this league. But, what can you do? I felt like if we had drawn our third and or fourth land in those games, we were in decent shape. Yeah, Cletus and Lifelink, though, I don't think even mattered. They had an Ooze that was 3 power, Goyf was 6 power, activate Raging Ravine would be 5 more power. Like, if we were just dead on board even through the Lifelink. If we got it down a turn or two earlier, or a turn earlier gotten down Obliterator, then things would have actually been pretty sweet. Alright, let's try this again. See if we actually draw lands. That would be pretty sweet. Alright, 2 lands. We're going to try this. We might just never draw another land, but... Arid Mesa for our opponent. Expedition Arid Mesa, no less. Not a land. But we get to Inquisition, see what our opponent's up to. Cracks the Arid Mesa. You want to make a mono-red vampire deck in Standard. It sounds pretty sweet. There's definitely some reasons to go black-red as well. Oh, Wall of Omens, Lightning Bolt, Elspeth, Reality Smasher, and Cavern of Soul. We're going to take Wall of Omens and hope that they don't draw into lands. I think we can beat this deck if we draw lands. Come on, land! It's happening again! This deck is cursed! Magic VCF, thank you for the follow. Now, at least our opponent is also not drawing lands. Just kidding, our opponent is drawing lands, but we're not. Alright, we get down to Liliana. We're going to lose our Liliana, but we get rid of the Displacer and make our opponent use a Bolt, so that's not the end of the world. Oh, thanks for the follow, someone. Most competitive budget Standard deck, want something for game day, but I'll only play it once. Kilmatic, thank you for the follow. I had a lot of... Eldrazi Obligator? Sure. I had a lot of fun with the green Aurora deck. Gunner, thank you for the follow. Ooh, there's a Nykthos. See, this is why Nykthos can be frustrating. We would be able to just jam an Obliterator. Instead, we need to Relentless Dead and Nykthos. Win It 14, thank you for the follow. Brain in the Jar is very good. The mono blue prison deck, the brainless Brain in the Jar deck was very good. We are running 24 lands. We got 16 swamps, 4 fetches, 2 shock lands, and 2 Nykthos. So I think we have enough lands. We're not really skimping on lands. We just had bad running in the first game. Nykthos is good at times. All right, let's Liliana start taking up Liliana. Discard a Damnation, I think. Our opponent discards their Elspeth. Game day, I think, is 2 weeks? Is it? It's not this weekend, right? It's 2 weekends? Oh, it's even later than I thought. All right. Not till after the Pro Tour. Tree of Perdition plus Triskaidekaphobia. Tree plus Assault Formation. Yeah, there's definitely some fun janky decks you can play in Standard. I'm excited to try out a lot of Standard decks on Against Odds once we have Eldritch Moon. Alright, let's Relentless Dead. Tick up our Liliana. Oh, thanks for the follow, someone whose name I just missed. So many follows today. Very, very sweet. Alright, so we're kind of running a little better now. Maybe it was just a bad first match. I believe the game day promos have been revealed. Holy Redemption, thank you for the follow. I think one of them is one of them the white 2-drop? Well, our opponent got a Reality Smasher. Oh, Lord. Do we draw a land? We do. Alright. Well, unless our opponent just randomly drew a path, Obliterator is a pretty good wall. Sammy, thank you for the follow. You could probably just free roll in Urborg over a swamp. Trick Doc, thank you, or Tree Doc, thank you for the follow. Opponent passes. How much mana do we have now? Not that much. 6? How do we want to do this? Let's see. 1, 2. Let's just kick a Gatekeeper, kill the Reality Smasher. Nerix, thank you, thank you. So Reality Smasher down. Then we can Relentless Dead, get in with our Obliterator, and then next turn it's Grey Merchant time. Nahiri. We wouldn't have been able to cast anything more though, and by doing it this way, if we cast like Relentless Dead, then use the mana for Nykthos for Gatekeeper, we wouldn't have had a black mana up for our Relentless Dead. So that actually would have made things worse, I believe. We do lose our Phyrexian Obliterator. Alright, Swamp. Kill the Nahiri. Hit our opponent. There's also a pretty sweet zombie sub-theme in this deck, since we can get back Grey Merchants, we can get back Geralf's Messengers with our Relentless Dead. And I think we're in good shape. Our opponent's going to need a Wrath or something. What does our opponent have? Thought-Knot Seer to take our other Grey Merchant. I guess that keeps our opponent alive for the moment. Sort of. We get in with Relentless Dead. Menace. No one remembers that Relentless Dead has Menace. Yeah, exclamation point and deck will take you to the deck list. Opponent drops down to 4. And then another Relentless Dead, and we have Lethal again next turn. If you lose Relentless Dead, the next turn you can still play Malakir and Gary X8. Maybe that would have been better. Okay. Things have run smoother this game because we drew lands. Rough Drafts is on hiatus at the moment, just because of time constraints with implementing new stuff. So right now there is not Rough Drafts. There will be like special edition Rough Drafts, but not every week Rough Drafts. Alright, they kill a Relentless Dead. We get back our Relentless Dead. Opponent has nothing in hand. We swing with the crew, and that should do it. Yeah, it is very weird that it has Menace. Menace, on the other hand, Menace is a kind of ability that Wizards apparently just loves to tack on to things these days. So this is White Red Nahiri Eldrazi. Hey Seth, longtime fan, first time writer. You an article on why the new Emrakul is a good card. In it you wrote something about a rule change. I can't find anything about it on the net, and the source you had in the article is deleted. So my question is was there a change or not? Do you know more? Yes, Gunner. So they posted on Reddit about the rule change and then deleted the Reddit post. So that's why the link is not working. The rule change was what I talked about in the article. You can't look through people's sideboards anymore. And they did confirm the rule change in the release notes for Eldritch Moon. So I don't have a link to the release notes, but if you type like Eldritch Moon release notes, you should be able to find a link to the Wizards website that will have that in there about how the sideboard, looking at your opponent's sideboard rule change, so you can no longer do that under any circumstances. The new Zombie Menace enchantment is pretty sweet. What's up, Dinotron? Welcome. Good to see ya. I hope I'm not the only one who feels this way, but the Instant Deck Tech articles really clog up the homepage. Is there something that could be done about that? The homepage of MTG Goldfish? I don't know. I will have to mention it to Richard. I don't know if there's a good way of dealing with that. You want the Dismember over the Disfigure. That is true. Do we want Blood Moons? I kind of feel like we want Blood Moons. We probably want Go for the Throat. Go down in Inquisition. Oh man, I always want Blood Moons. Ah, thank you. There's the release note articles. Needle for Nahiri. Yeah, I guess that also makes sense. Blood Moon. Blood Moon is in my blood. Go down to Thoughtseize. Go down our Mismatch Arena since it gets hit by... We'll go down 2 arenas since Nahiri is very good against it. Well, I guess she's very good against Blood Moon as well. Whatever. If we're going to lose with an enchantment on the battlefield, it's going to be Blood Moon. Although Arena's pretty awesome. It draws us cards. But Moon is very good against their deck. Needle is for Nahiri. Nahiri is super annoying. And apparently everywhere in Modern these days. Our traditional 2-lander. We have a Thoughtseize and a Liliana, though. This is a decent 2-lander. But we are going to need another land. So lead on Thoughtseize. Anger, Path, Reality Smasher. Alright, we'll just take Reality Smasher. Let our opponent have all the removal in the world. The against odds force of Savagery was more Virals. You didn't attack once with the force. So why didn't you play someday a deck that allows to really play force like this? Burning Pyre, thank you for the follow. Our opponent passes. Hey, third land. Alright, let's pass. the real Force of Savagery deck. That is a forceful title. Alright. You got some Lords. Guy's Anthem, Hall of Triumph. Alright, I could see an argument for that. We're actually playing a deck sort of similar to that. But it's does not actually involve Force of Savagery. Yeah, Jeskai is pretty good. If they had their own abbreviated section, the articles section would look less cluttered. Well, Richard does all the site design type of stuff as far as the actual layouts of the page. But I will pass that feedback along to him and see what he says. Maybe there's a way to include them on their own special page or do something. MC Force, thank you for the follow. Yes, this, our opponent is actually playing around Blood Moon pretty well, though, at the moment. And we keep drawing them. I think we're just going to Liliana here. We know their hand was cluttered with removal that can kill our creatures, so it's probably better to start taking up Liliana than running creatures out there at the moment. Hopefully that doesn't lead to a Nahiri. Opponent discards the Path to Exile. Yeah, I really like these swamps. They look so good. I actually took like an hour one day and bought some basics that I really liked, so that was fun. Alright, let's take up our Liliana. Pitch Damnation, I think. Opponent discards. Anger of the Gods, I assume. And Anger. And then let's just Thoughtseize. Opponent's going to Bolt our Liliana. Take the other Anger. So our opponent has nothing left in hand. There's the land. Alright, let's take up Liliana. Discard our Swamp. That might not be wise, but... And then just Gatekeeper with Kicker. Might as well get rid of the wall. Blood Moon is actually pretty good, though. I think one of the ways we lose is our opponent just randomly drawing into Displacer plus something else. Alright, draw some Messenger. Alright, well, I guess now we're going to discard the Blood Moon anyway. We got a pretty fast clock. Opponent gets a land. We get a swamp. Opponent cracks their Arid Mesa. I am about 6'3", 6'3 and a half, somewhere in that range. I usually say 6'3". Not quite as tall as like Huey and Marshall, but taller than the average person, I guess. Do we want to discard here? I kind of want to save this Go for the Throat. We do have... Oh, I guess I could run even more black fetch lands. We have 4 fetch lands and 2 shocks as our red sources. Alright, let's... I don't... Let's just pass. I think that's the safest thing for us to do. Especially since our opponent could draw a Reality Smasher. So now we can actually just discard the swamp, kill Reality Smasher. They're going after Lily. And that should hopefully win us the game. We get in 4-5. Our opponent's already discarded 2 Angers, so they are unlikely to just peel an Anger. Thought-Knot Seer does not really keep our opponent alive. It actually just draws us a card. Make him sack the Thought-Knot. And that does it! Sweet! We are back on the winning track. Back to 1-1. So the deck is good when it's not getting extremely mana troubled. So Abstract Dramatic, thank ya for the follow. Blue Hen 28, thank you, thank you. X After Burner X, thank you for the follow. We have Blood Moons, so we need to have our red mana for Blood Moons. I believe we will do a special bonus stream, I think, for pre-release, probably next Friday, right when it comes out. We're playing someone who's 3-1? Interesting. You never know with the Moto leagues. Alright, we got lands, we got red mana. Not that it matters in the main deck. We got Thoughtseizes. Seems reasonable. Impulse Words, thank you for the follow. Ninjingyunk, thanks for the follow. Well, I always get yelled at for saying things wrong, so I try to say them correctly if I can, especially names. So Swamp and Thoughtseize. Favorite color is definitely blue. We get a chance to redeem ourselves against Jund. And favorite tribe... I don't know if I have a favorite tribe, honestly. So we take... Let's just take Liliana. Next turn we can Thoughtseize a Goyf. And then the following turn we Dismember the Goyf, I think. Disastertron, thanks for the follow. Ooh, and a Gray Merchant to gain us back some of this life. Jeff Soko, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we'll take a Goyf. Bloodstained Mire, go. Favorite new tribe is Rogue. I have not played Pokemon Go. Sorry, Slade Zeno. I am in the middle of a league on stream. There's a Goyf. Alright, let's keep suiciding. Get a swamp. Oh, this is painful. Down to 11. Oh, what? Oh, I thought there was already a land in the graveyard. Oh, now we are probably going to lose. I thought I I know how Goif works, but I thought that we were already counting a land, but we were not counting lands. Yeah, that was a punt. A fairly meaningful punt. Yes, yes, yes. I'm not not gonna argue against that one. That is about the definition of a punt. Scavenging Ooze for our opponent, and a Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Oh, we draw Nykthos and Grey Merchant, and that's the game. I was thinking about the new Emrakul, and I guess it would be great in Utron. The deck can play Coax, can get access to some Eldrazi cards on the side, like All Is Dust for removal. Yeah, I think that Bluetron or Blue-White Tron is maybe the best the best way to go as far as Coax being playable. That's actually the opposite of redeeming ourselves. The exact polar opposite of redemption is an epic punt that actually loses us the game. We still got time. What's my favorite game other than Magic? That's a good question. I don't know. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Civ 5, which is pretty good and addicting. I put off getting it for a long time because I waste so much time when I have Civ around, but it's good. I don't know if that's truly my favorite game, but it's the non-Magic game that I've played most recently, at least. Whip of Erebos is actually interesting. Eh. Did I ever get Overwatch? I did not. I have never played Overwatch. You just missed a good one. A classic punt. I will probably get Civ 6. Since I finally started playing Civ, I think I played 4, and then I just never played 5 until recently when I decided to buy it. And it's very good, so now I'm kind of excited, because doesn't 6 come out this fall? Like, not in that distant, not that far into the future? So I might just get that one right away. Yeah, I guess we just take Liliana is fine. Stellaris? I will have to check that out. Bloodstained Mire, go. Yeah, I don't know if it was like the best on-stream punt of all time. It was just poor of me. I didn't double check my graveyard before going to dismember a Goyf. Not the best dress ever. The original Roller Coaster Tycoon. I remember playing that a long time ago. It was pretty fun. What's my favorite deck in Legacy? Probably Miracles. I also like various Stoneblade variants, but they're not as good now as they used to be. Let's Messenger. Opening packs was the most expensive punt I've ever had. I think I lost like 60 ticks in a second. Yeah, Needle on my own Needle. That was probably the most entertaining punt. My worst punt ever. I guess it depends on how you define worse. Naming Pithing Needle with Pithing Needle is pretty bad. It's also pretty funny, though. Tarmogoyf for our opponent. which is fine since we have a handful of gatekeepers. Ooh, that's even better. Bloodstained Mire, crack Bloodstained Mire, so we get to Inquisition the Kolaghan's command and then Gatekeeper, so you can't just get it back. Abrupt Decay, sure, we'll get rid of Kolaghan's command. Gatekeeper with Kicker. This is actually going to kill the Goyf. No punting here. What cards can I substitute? Sushi Lady Boner, thank you for the follow. What cards can I substitute for Liliana the Veil? So Damnation, you can substitute Languish. Is probably the best substitute. And as far as Liliana, that's a tough one. If you're not going to play Liliana, there's not a real substitute in the sense there's a card that does something similar. So you might want to just focus on upping the devotion. DJ Spurts, thank you for the follow. So upping the devotion and playing Vampire Nighthawk. There's some weird removal spell creature that costs triple black mana from Cold Snap. I can't think of the name of it. It spiked at one point because someone played it in a devotion list. Does anyone know the name of that card? It's triple black and it like has recover and you lose half your life rounded down or something or up to recover it. I cannot think of the name of it. Night Veil Spectre could also work. Mutilate is another good option. Whether it's better or worse than Languish, I guess if you're going to play Mutilate, just play a couple Urborgs to turn your Nykthoses also into swamps. This deck should probably just have Urborg anyway. Keith in America, thank you for the follow. Big Game Hunter is an option, probably in the sideboard. Grauza's Assassin, Honey Apples, nailed it. If there was a prize, you would win it. That is the card I was trying to think of. And then several other people afterwards. So, yeah, thank you. That is the card. I wouldn't want to play a lot of those, but you could play a copy or two. Sierra's Assassin. Oh, yup. Ooh. Foil Gisela. Score. Yeah, I know. We were talking about other stuff, but that game went very well. So there's still hope for redemption against Jund. It's still possible. Gar 3-it, thank you for the follow. I'm probably most excited about playing Spirits, honestly. That deck just fits stuff I like to do. I get to play counters, I get to flash things in, annoy my opponent, tap things down with the pseudo Pestermite. No, we're trying Relentless Dead over Bloodghast. I don't know if that's wise or not. It has some synergies with our other zombies. Yeah, Gisela has got a little bit bad press recently. It started out being super hyped, and then after seeing some of the removal, I've seen a couple articles recently with people saying, I don't know if she's going to be as good in Standard as I thought. I still think she's a very powerful card. Thank you for the follow, someone whose name I just missed, and also Batman88. We're going like record-setting follows today, which is super awesome. Yeah, we don't have that many red sources. We could have, maybe we could play more fetches. There's the Goyf. Come on, red source. Or just another swamp. Pass the turn. That Blue-Red Spirit Tempo deck I showed you on the stream Tuesday is doing amazing. A lot of wins and better in the Blue-White Mirror. Nice. Garth, thank you for the follow. That deck did look sweet. I liked it. Are follows meaningful on Twitch for anything? I don't really know, Apes of Wrath. I mean, the biggest thing they do is it informs people when we go streaming, so I think I think it's beneficial for the stream because we're more likely to get more viewers if people know we're streaming. LOL fail WTFBPQ, thank you for the follow. Aaron McCarthy, thank you, thank you. And it could be possible that it is tied to getting subs and so forth. I don't know 100%, but it might be. Ricky1982, thanks for the follow. If I wanted to work for MTG Goldfish, who would I have to contact? Work doing what? Like creating content and stuff? I mean, you can email me. Richard has final say over everything. He owns the site, so he has final say over that stuff. So some combination of me and or Richard. If you emailed me, I would pass that along to Richard at some point or talk to him about it. Usually with content focused stuff, we talk about it and kind of collaborate, but he has the final yes or no. I bring up suggestions and talk about mention people and so forth, but so either saffronolive at mtggoldfish.com or contact at mtggoldfish.com or both. What's our opponent have now? 3 green mana and another Finks. Well, if we can get down this Gray Merchant, it's at least a good roadblock. Alright, well, not the greatest Gray Merchant, but it means we're not just going to get beaten down by these Finks unless they have removal. Maybe this just isn't a good Blood Moon deck. Oh no, they do. Oh, Liliana. Oh, Artocat, thank you for the follow. Yeah, looking grim. Smother is not super great. If we had drawn a red source, I think we just need more fetch lands, honestly. We need to play 8 fetch lands instead of 4 fetch lands. I think that's my big takeaway so far. Because we've had so many games where we've had Blood Moons in hand and not been able to cast them. Cody Noel, thank you for the follow. Well, you get to kill the Raging Ravine. What's my favorite 80s movie? Messenger, and we're dead. Oh, not being able to cast Blood Moon has to be one of the most frustrating things. Alright, so if you decide to play this deck, definitely play more fetch lands. Toss in 4 Polluted Deltas. I don't really care what ones you play, but run 4 more black fetch lands. Throw in a couple of Urborgs over swamps so you can not crack fetches in the late game. If you don't need to, you can just turn them into swamps that way. I think that is the thing to do if we're going to have red cards, because apparently 6 red sources is just not enough. And having game-winning sideboard cards rot in your hand kind of defeats the purpose of playing game-winning sideboard cards. I don't know about that. Coco, really? I don't know if we have enough creatures, though. Even if we did that stuff. I played 1 match with this one. This is a list that someone did something with. I don't remember what the tournament was. But it actually showed up in the Goldfish database as top 8ing something or another. And I played 1 match with it against Affinity and won. I was like, alright. Gotta go do my own stream on Thursdays, playing some Limbo tonight. Alright, Red Panda, have an awesome stream, and yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday, of course. Black Lotus in Moxes would be nice. Turn 1 Liliana, that would be alright with me. Yeah, I don't know if I would want Coco in this deck, really. We don't really have like, let me look at the list again. We don't have that many hittable creatures, in all honesty. We have 3 Relentless Deads and 4 Drolf's Messengers, and I guess Gatekeeper, but you don't really want to be Cocoing Gatekeeper. You want to be actually kicking it. So right now it's only 7 creatures that Coco can hit, 10 if you count Gatekeeper. It would take a lot of rebuilding to make this into a Coco deck. You definitely have to cut down on non-creature spells. There's no way you can play 18 non-creature spells in a Coco deck. You got to get that number down to like 8 maybe in that range, 10, 8 to 10 at the high end probably. So we have to cut like half of our non-creature spells, and even more because we'd have to fit the Cocos themselves, and then rework the creatures for Coco. I mean, it could work, but I think that it would take a lot of rebuilding. I mean, yeah, you could build a zombie deck. That would work with Coco, and probably be pretty sweet with Coco. Eldritch Moon releases in the paper world tomorrow. Indeed. So if you're getting a box of Eldritch Moon, that is the time to pick it up. Strumgold Crusader is a decent 2-drop. Worth considering. I think it's cool to test out Relentless Dead. I don't know if Relentless Dead is the best 2-drop for this lot. I'm saying Eldritch now. I said Eldrick for a long time, and it got yelled at by everyone in the world. So Eldritch is, I believe, how you're supposed to say it. Coco is a good card. It means you can just smash it in your own deck and it'll make it good, right? Not exactly. Thoughts on splashing Progenitus? Yeah, for sure. Talk about reworking the deck. I'm going to re-queue. See if this speeds up the process of getting a match. I made this sweet Mardu Good Stuff control deck because I apparently had all the cards already. Soulfire Grandmaster plus Lightning Helix. That's a nice synergy. Fulminator, Cletus, Dark Dweller, Inquisition's Thought Seizes. It actually looks really pretty solid, in all honesty. Some of the creatures are a little weird, like the 2-ofs and 1-ofs, but it looks like a fairly solid Mardu deck. I like it. Lingering Souls can win a lot of games. If you have a Emrakul, I think you almost have to just throw it in the deck if you have a Nahiri. Like, it's pretty low opportunity cost. So people figured that out. I didn't think they would actually look at the against odds poll so closely, because if there's a Phage deck in Modern, it is very likely to include Whispers, and if there's a Whispers deck, it's very likely to include Phage. So I think the deck will be somewhat similar either way. So I guess I would, if you want to see something involving those cards, probably the best thing you can do is vote for whatever is winning. Any chance of doing a cube draft this stream? Looks like the current league will be over soon enough. Maybe? Possibly. We'll see how the rest of this goes. Definitely possible, even if we don't do a cube draft, that we will wrap up with a game or two of Momir, which will probably make you happy anyway. I know you're one of the biggest Momir supporters, Tracy King. Alright, round 4. Rough Drafts is on hiatus at the moment, just because of time constraints. Oh, man, this hand looks familiar. The old, if we draw our 3rd and 4th lands, How do I feel about Desecration Demon in the deck? Desecration Demon is, I think, worse than other options. Just because there are a lot of things that can be sacked in Modern. Lingering Souls, Birds of Paradise in the mid to late game. A lot of, oh no. A lot of decks just have things they can sack to keep it tapped down. So, I mean, I think it's okay, but I would rather play Abyssal Persecutor or something. I never beat this deck. Never beat it. And it blanks out most of our creature removal. Any update on the MTG Goldfish app in the works? I do not have an update on that yet. By the way, good, please jack the price on those Relentless Deads. I opened one of my pre-release pool. Well, hopefully the price doesn't get jacked up, but I'm doing what I can for you, I guess, by playing it. Thank you for the follow, someone whose name I missed. I think I'm just going to run the Gatekeeper out. Because I'm not really worried about their creatures, and we know they have a Bolt. This isn't Storm. This is, like, Pyromancer Ascension Thing in the Ice. That's the deck that I can never beat. For some reason. Seems like this deck never fizzles. I don't know. Richard said that, Void. He said it wasn't showing up for him, but it was showing up for me. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh my lord. Well, we're gonna do the not draw another land thing by the looks. Yeah, Blastoderm, man, that's what I figured. Everyone is cubing today, so do something a little different. Like, endlessly get stuck on 2 lands when we need 4 lands for all the stuff we want. That's true. This is actually... Was it today's instant deck tech? I believe so. Was this deck. Have I thought about adding Waste to my Momir deck? I have considered it. My theory is it's not worth it. The odds of hitting a colorless mana card are so low. I think that the percentages favor playing colored sources in those slots. If you want to do it for fun, that's fine, but as far as like Momir theory, there's just so few cards that care about colorless mana that out of all the cards, I just don't think it's worth it. Flank Attack. That's one of my favorite names, so well done there. Well, they're gonna flip the thing in the ice while we're stuck on 2 lands. Cast the Probe, flips the thing in the ice. Well, I guess the question is, do we just draw a land, Liliana, kill thing in the ice? I played Knowledge Pool versus Shared Fate today. That broke Magic, not MTGO, but Magic. Oh, yeah. Yes! Alright, well, we're not just dead. We get to Liliana away the Woken Horror. And their deck is just mono cantrips, and they don't have an Ascension, so we'll see what happens here. Thought Scours, mills a thing in the ice. Thought Scours, mills Lightning Helix and a Flooded Strand, plays a Mountain. And is this Pyromancer's Ascension? There's the Ascension. Oh, Lord. Well, let's tick up Liliana. Discard an Obliterator. Relentless Dead and pass the turn. We're still stuck on lands, though. Can they chain together cantrips? They have Manamorphose for the redraw. Gets a counter on Ascension. Oh, no. Yeah, you get to see exactly how the deck works as it beats us. And Visions of Beyond turns on Pyromancer's Ascension, draws our opponent a card. Oh! If they had drawn like 2 lands in a row there, they could have easily lost. They would have been empty-handed. That is true. Obliterator is a horror. Natural foil to Thing in the Ice. So essentially we're dead. We might as well just scoop, but... Oh no. What good counters are available in Standard trying to make blue-black control? Void Shatter might be the best one. There's a few decent 3 converted mana cost ones, assuming you're not playing a dragon deck. Well, you get to bring in Duress, get to bring in a Thoughtseize. We just don't have that much to bring in. Yeah. I just don't know about this matchup. I guess we just win by Thoughtseizing a lot and hopefully living long enough to get our Grey Merchant down. I wouldn't really consider Unsubstantiate a counter in Standard. That's more of a bounce spell, a tempo play. But I don't think of that as a counter. Void Shatter is probably the best catch-all. Horribly Awry for small creatures. Yeah, that's about right. Alright, we just want lots of discard here. When will we be playing Eldritch Moon Commanders? Well, let's see if we draw a 3rd land this game. Well, it's going to be at least 2 weeks because we got to wait until next Friday for Eldritch Moon to even come out on Magic Online. I don't know. Richard's pretty busy doing site stuff, so I don't know if he has time to actually do a series. Well, we get to get rid of Pyromancer's Ascension. It seems like we've had a lot of games with this deck where we have 2 lands in our opener, and our hand seems reasonable, but then we just never draw the 3rd land. Which is really annoying in this deck. 24 lands is a lot. We're not even overloaded in fetches and just like thinning out our deck. So I feel like we've kind of just not run all that well. Like, I feel like this deck is better than it's showing at the moment. Serum Visions. So let's see. I mean, hopefully we just untap, draw land, Phyrexian Arena, and get to go to town. Alright, that works. We get a Nykthos. Nykthos is actually pretty good here. Hopefully. Get in with Relentless Dead. Put our opponent down to 17, and then Phyrexian Arena. Pass the turn. Thought Scours. I feel like it's so unfair to counter what's the point. Would control be overpowered otherwise? Manamorphose. Summary Dismissal is a good Emrakul killer. Blow, thank you for the follow. Gitaxian Pro, ping life. Yeah, I don't know if I'll actually do Cube tonight, just because there's a ton of options. If you, not that I want you to leave the stream, but if you really want to watch Cube tonight, because they're doing the streamer showdown thing, there are a ton of streamers playing Cube, so there is endless options. So I kind of like being the stream that's doing something different, because just right now you got Cheon, you got Loading Ready Run, Caleb, Gabby. Oh, it looks like some of the streamer showdown people dropped off, but they will be back shortly. Come on, Phyrexian Arena. Draw us some good stuff. Four. And Swamp. Alright, let's just Kalitas and Inquisition. Make sure they don't have... Oh, Lord. Well... I guess we take... If we take the Bolt, they can kill our Relentless Dead, but not our Kalitas. On the other hand, Visions of Beyond is their only cantrip. How bad is it if they just wreck our board? Is MTGO any fun for budget players? I just got started playing MTG again this year, and I don't get to play often enough, so MTGO is tempting, but I'm hesitant. Twisted Nails, I think it definitely is. Oh, if they draw 3, though, it's so bad. That probably loses us a game. We only get in for 2 here. So if we take Bolt, we get in for 2. They anger, kill our Relentless Dead, draw with Ancestral Visions. Then we get in for 3, putting them down to 10. We have 1, 2, 4. Gray Merchant, I guess, puts them down to 4. Alright. Alright, we'll try it. If we lose to them casting Ancestral Recall, I'm going to be very sad. They only draw 3 if they have 20 cards, but they're at 15 now, so it's not unreasonable that they could get there pretty quickly. They have a fetch in hand, they're Anger of God, so they're going to be at like 17 cards at the end of this turn, almost for sure. Oh yes, Twisted Nail, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I think it's definitely worth it. I wouldn't play a lot of really... If you're playing super cheap decks, you might not have a lot of success with competitive tournaments, but there are tons of games just going on at all different levels, so you can play a ton of Magic for really cheap on Magic Online. And then even... Oh, they drew a set. Oh my god. Well, that might just be the game. Oh, my lord. Yep. And we draw 2 swamps. Well, we get in with Kalitas. Gatekeeper. Gray Merchant. And then most likely we die this turn. Or we don't die this turn, but I don't know if we can get back from this. If they can double up a Anger the Gods, so they cast... Well, maybe they don't have a spell they can cast to turn on their Anger. If they can turn on Ascension and double Anger, we're all of a sudden just down to nothing, and they have an active... Oh, man. Pyromancer's Ascension into Manamorphose is what they wanted. It turns on their Ascension, lets them double up in Anger of the Gods, and then we just lose. Wow. Luckily, they did not wait till they got one more card in the graveyard, or they would have drawn so many cards. Yeah, we could draw a Gray Merchant and win. Yes. Oh. Okay. Confirmed. Moto does not like Mono Black Devotion. What's up, Gay Unicorn of Love? Yeah, we just are not drawing things at the right time. And our opponent drew literally their best possible draws were Pyromancer's Ascension into Manamorphose. Oh, and they drew another Visions of Beyond. Alright. Oh my lord. Against odds, Bogbrew Witch. That would be interesting. They were going to beat us. I do always concede, but our opponent was about to draw 6. Which is a lot of cards, and they have an active Pyromancer's Ascension, so they were essentially just going to storm off. The good old doesn't do anything hand, but it has lands and spells. Wooded Foothills cracks it. I mean, our opponent was going to draw 6 off Visions of Beyond. And they had an active Pyromancer's Ascension, so they're going to just double up everything. Thanks for the follow, Katsu. Alright, let's just disfigure that Swift Spear while your opponent's tapped out. Well, no Blood Moons in the main deck, so... We actually have a whole series, Keith, on the YouTube channel about getting started on Magic Online. So if you're looking on info about how to get started, that's a good place to do it. Alright, let's just Inquisition, take a Lightning Helix, Thoughtseize, take the sweet-looking Black Lightning Bolt. Pass the turn. Against the odds, Catacomb Slug. Yikes. Squire and Modern, that would be entertaining. I don't know if the games would be entertaining, but it would be funny. Alright, Shard Volley. We know their last card in hand is Lava Spike. So they're going to hit us down to 6. We're going to need a removal spell. Well, there's Damnation. I don't think that really saves us, because they're probably just going to draw more burn. We're going to need Gray Merchants or something. Yeah, the Black Lightning Bolt does look pretty cool. The Helix looks kind of cool, too. Yeah, I can't wait to play Tree of Redemption either. Could I do a stream where we intentionally try to break Moto with a board state? Yeah, I think we could do that. That could be fun. With the odds. Big fan of your content. First time watching the stream. It's 9 in the morning over in Australia. Love your stuff. Keep it up. Oh, thank you, Friedman92. I'm glad you're hanging out and watching. Opponent passes. Phyrexian Arena seems likely to kill us. Get in with Reynolds dead. And Damnation. Hope our opponent fizzles for a while. Enchanted Evening plus Ajani is chosen to break Moto. That could be sweet. Midnight Gond. I don't know if that actually breaks Moto or not. Maybe it does. Well, we're not dead yet. Opponent passes. Inquisition. Bolts. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Hulk Uppercut. Thank you for the follow. And there's a Skull Crack. Oh, yeah, Arena would have just killed us there, of course. Well, with Bavaravos, seems pretty good. Smother, go for the throat, disfigure, and probably duress over Thoughtseize. Can go down Dismember, go down a Phyrexian Arena, and probably just go down the Thoughtseizes. And try it like that. Do you think a Dredge style deck for Standard could work? There seems to be a lot of return to the battlefield discard cards right now. I think you could build a fun, casual Dredge style deck. But I don't know if that could be like a tier 1 type deck. Okay, so you just like make so many tokens that eventually it breaks? Alright. Would this deck work better if it was a mono black deck? I mean, it is essentially mono black. We have 4 red sideboard cards. I think the problem isn't that we're splashing red. It's one of the things I'm not liking is we just aren't playing enough fetch lands to consistently splash mono red. La Banda del MonoRed.com. Alright, we'll keep this. The age-old question about this deck. Do we draw into the lands we need? Alright, Swamp, go. Wooded Foothills for our opponent. If we draw lands and curve Drelf's Messenger or Liliana into Kalitas into Grey Merchant, I don't know how we lose. Land? Ooh, alright, that's a land. And that's another land. We're getting there. Alright, Swamp, go. So I think we might actually have a chance in this one. Enchanted Evening, back to nature. But that blows up all your stuff too. Lava Spiked down to 15. And Bump in the Night down to 12. Opponent goes attacking. We get a land. Let's go for the throat, the Goblin Guide. Let's Swamp Liliana. Tick up Liliana. Discard this Gray Merchant. Or Drelf's Messenger, I mean. I don't know why I said Gray Merchant. And pass the turn. What did our opponent discard? A Boros Charm. Alright, let's... tick up Liliana. Discard... Smother. Opponent discards a Lavamancer. Nykthos... Kalitas. Are we really going to get burned out? Our opponent's going to have to top deck us. Double Lightning Bolt down to 6. They only have one card in hand, so they need to top deck a 1-mana burn spell, assuming they have one in their hand. And then they could beat us here. Otherwise, next turn we just win. Are you for... Really? Oh, come on. Oh, okay. They were slow rolling us. It was a Swift Spear. Oh, yeah, we can't get partnered yet. For some reason. I don't know why. Twitch, we're, like... constantly one of the top 3 Magic streams. Anytime we stream. And... there's a lot of people that have a lot less viewers than we do, and we just haven't been able to get, I was going to say sponsored, it's not sponsored, partnered. Just haven't been able to get partnered yet, unfortunately. No, I think our opponent played it properly. Why, what could they have done differently, Keith? I thought they were slow rolling us when they played the Shard Volley. I thought for sure they were going to follow that up with another 1-mana burn spell and we were going to die. Well, once we gained the life, our opponent was just basically dead. That's the thing with the red deck. Once we start gaining 3 a turn, they just don't really have a way to get back into it. They're drawing 1 card a turn, but we're gaining 3 a turn. I guess we keep it like this. SWK, thank you for the follow. And other people whose names I'm sure I missed, Slag Fiend. So Dragonstorm is an interesting idea. I've been messing around with the idea of trying to build Dragonstorm for Budget Magic, but I haven't been able to get it just right yet, so I think it's hard to build the right version of it. Blood Crypt for our opponent, and Monastery Swift Spear. Yeah, this is basically... also, it's basically the non-budget version of this week's Budget Magic, but also with a slight red splash for a few sideboard cards. Shard Volley, Path Bolt, and Skullcrack. I guess we take Skullcrack? Skullcrack fizzles a Gray Merchant. Yeah, we'll take Skullcrack. And pass the turn. What about Sigarda's Aid in Bonesaw Storm? That sounds spicy. Enduring Ideal would be fun to play. I could definitely imagine that we play it at some point. I don't know if it would fit on Against the Odds, but maybe for like Much Brew About Nothing or something. I think it would be a fun deck to play. Definitely my style of deck. This is not my own brew, Malcolm Jr. This is very similar to the list I posted as the non-budget version in Budget Magic. It's a little different. This is a list someone else made that's splashing red. And it's actually not that similar to our Budget Magic deck, really. I mean, it's somewhat similar, but it's missing some of the key pieces. Blood Crypt, go. Well, we're at 10. Our opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. We don't have any life gain, though. Smother. Alright, let's Bloodstained Mire and Relentless Dead. Pass the turn. You thought I looked like my Moto avatar? No, that's Peacekeeper. I just like it because it locks creatures out of battle. What do I think about Butcher of the Horde in Modern? Butcher of the Horde is okay. Oh, man. Alright, Lavamancer's fine. It doesn't interact all that well with Path to Exile, but it's okay. Alright, I guess we go to 5. That doesn't really change the clock much. We still die to 2/3 damage burn spells. We still don't die to 1/4 damage burn spell. Our opponent's last card we know is a Path. Ooh, there's our Gray Merchant. We have a very slight chance. So let's get in with our Relentless Dead. Put our opponent to 10. Gatekeeper with Kicker. So if our opponent doesn't draw a way to prevent our life gain, we might have Gray Merchant next turn, and that might be enough to get us back in the game. Riftbolt suspended. Let's see if they path on upkeep. There's the upkeep path, which means we now have to draw land for Gray Merchant. And we do. Alright. So we're going to gain 4. Which should be enough to swing the race with them being empty-handed. Actually, it's almost guaranteed to be because we get to attack for 4 next turn. Oh, so this was a rougher league than I hoped, but we managed to scavenge a win at the end. Would you mind looking at my version of Dragonstorm? I thought of trying, haven't had the money to buy it yet. Yeah, definitely send me a link. I wouldn't mind looking at it. That would be sweet. Oh, alright, so we finished 2-3. We lost round 1 due to severe mana troubles. Lost to Jund, which doesn't feel like it should be a bad matchup, and got pretty much blown out by the Thing in the Ice deck, which does feel like a legitimately bad matchup. Well, how do I feel about Thunderbreak, Regent, or Vraska in Modern Jund? Thunderbreak Regent, I just don't know if it's better than the other options in the 4-drop slot when you have Kalidas. That's one of the big issues, is it's just not as good as Kalidas. And Vraska seems a bit expensive for what it does. So there is someone who I told... So I think this deck is better than our record. That's what I was trying to say before I got distracted. So I think it's better than it showed in this match. I think we just had a couple of rough draws. But I think this deck is reasonable. I don't think it's tier 1, but I think it's reasonable. There is someone who I said I would play in Momir. Are you here? I can't remember the person's name. There's someone I promise next time I play Momir, I will play against you first because they were constantly just missing out on being able to play. Yeah, I mean, and that's Magic. Magic has variants. So we can't really be too disappointed about getting some variants. I think Nasmith actually played me. Let's see. Let me do one more match with that deck, and then we'll close things out tonight with Momir. Yeah. I just want to try one more match with this and see how it does in a different matchup. And then we'll do a game of Momir after that. I really like the Maze's End deck this week, but you gotta admit, it looked a lot like a Turbo Fog deck in the way it played. Yeah, it played a little Turbo Foggy. Yeah, the hard thing with doing against the odds style decks on stream is that against the odds style decks lose a lot, and it works on against the odds because I can edit out all the downtime. So when we have a match where like our deck just doesn't do anything and it's absolutely horrible, if I can edit that down to 3 minutes per game, it's still pretty okay and entertaining to watch. But if we're doing it on stream and it takes a half hour to play one of those matches, it'll just drive you insane. It's just not that good. Not that we will never play any against odds on stream, because we probably will, but it's hard to play them on stream for that reason. Alright, keep Inquisition on top. I don't know if bad is... Well, I mean, some of them are probably bad. But they're like more high risk, high reward, a lot of them. Trying to pull off crazy things that don't always work. Yeah, Splendor Dredge looks really sweet. I can't wait for the cards to be out on Magic Online to do some testing with that. There are 2 Nykthoses in this deck. Ooh, speaking of Dredge... Says either Dredge or Griselbrand. Seems like lately it's been more Dredge than Griselbrand. Yep, definitely Dredge. Pop out our opponent's graveyard. Well, I guess we need Inquisition, although if it was Dredge, I would not have kept Inquisition on top. Stinkweed Imp, Tormenting Voice, and an Neonate. Well, I guess we take Tormenting Voice because it lets them dredge so much. Pass the turn. They hit a Prized Amalgam. So they're going to get back Bloodghast. There's the Neonate. Do you think Splendid Reclamation could actually get banned anytime? I do, even though it doesn't seem that powerful at first glance. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, I guess. It's very early to say. I don't know, Vaults. Whenever Twitch partners me, I'm really not 100% sure why we haven't gotten partnered yet. Well, yeah, the Valakut Dredge deck is going a little deep. I will admit that. But a lot of my decks go a bit deep. Let's just Phyrexian Arena. We're going to Damnation next turn anyway. How should I send you a link to the deck here on Twitch? Yeah, you can link it to me, or you can link it in the chat. I probably won't be able to look at it while we're in the middle of a game, but you can also tweet it at me at Saffron Olive, or email me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. So you got a few options. Splendor Reclamation just has a really powerful and unique effect. And there is... Well, thank you, Nai. It's just a powerful and unique effect, which can potentially lead to there being some synergy or combo that could be powerful enough to get the card banned. I'm not saying that will happen, but there's... powerful and unique effects are definitely more likely to get banned than, oh, it's another efficient creature or whatever, Gisela or something like that. Well, our opponent's going pretty wide. And we're going to get to Wrath. The problem is they can just make a land drop and get all this stuff back again. So Phyrexian Arena, we get 2 lands. Swamp, Damnation, wipes up the board. There is much Graveyard Hate and Scape Shift have counter spells, so I think it might be better than Splendid Valakut Dredge. Yeah, Countryside Crusher is a cool idea. Yeah, Dredge is another... This Dredge deck is very good in a lot of matchups, especially on main deck in game 1s, because people aren't main decking Graveyard Hate, so I think it has a really good game 1 win percentage. Bab, thanks for the follow. They are going to Conflagrate X4. Then they play the land, get back all of their junk. That's going to give their Bloodghast haste. Yeah, I mean, Kalitas is helpful, that's for sure. I think we're just dead, really. Even if we draw Damnation, we probably just die to a Conflagrate. Their Bloodghast are going to hit us down to 4. They get back a double prized Amalgam. Yeah, I think we're dead. Geolands, thank you for the follow. Does Dredge have any chance against Mill? Potentially, if they're fast enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're playing the sideboard hate, it helps. If you're picking off their stuff with extirpates and so forth. Yeah, Gatekeeper's not going to do it. I don't think we have much graveyard hate. We have 2 Grafdigger's Cages. We have, I guess, another Dismember. Live viewer deck review. That could be a fun idea for a stream. Dice Storm Lie. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back on Tuesday with another one. And of course, Commander Clash and all that sweet stuff over the weekend. Keep an eye out for that. Disfigure, I don't especially want. Thoughtseizes, I don't really want. Yeah, I wish we had Leyline of the Void. I don't even... I guess some discard is okay on turn 1 if we get like an Insolent Neonate or something. I think it's mostly for grindy matchups, like controlling matchups, but I think it could be okay against aggro too, just to gain some life. Yeah, I wish we had Leylines of the Void. Alright, let's try it. I mean, if we hit a Grafdigger's Cage, that would help a ton. To keep us alive, at least. Alright, we get to play first. Alright, no Grafdigger's Cage. Obliterator, if we get that down, could be decent. So we're looking for... well, we'll see. Let's Inquisition. Well, definitely take Tormenting Voice, because that's the card that lets them start dredging, getting things in the graveyard. If Mill plays Crypt Incursion, yeah, Crypt Incursion would be awesome. Yeah, Kalitas would be very good here. Yeah, Dredge has a hard time beating Leyline of the Void. Tap land for our opponent. Well, Blood Crypt, untapped, and Relentless Dead. Yeah, it's possible you can just mill them out quickly enough. It's also possible you mill them into... Well, they drew a Faithless Looting. That is exactly what they wanted to draw. turns on their entire deck. Into another Faithless Looting? Really? Oh my... Oh... Oh, Lord. Well, that was good running. We get a Swamp. Well, Blood Crypt, tapped, pass the turn. Well, I guess we might as well get in, because I don't think we're blocking here. Yeah, we're not going to win this one. Man. We're seeing their deck, and they have relatively few ways to get cards in their graveyard, so the fact that they just peeled Faithless Looting is really unfortunate. Super, super. I mean, they have 4 Tormenting Voice, maybe 4 Tormenting Voice, the Faithless Lootings, and some number of Insolent Neonates. So that they drew that on the very first turn possible is not good. Not good at all. They get back a bunch more stuff. They even have Bloodghast in the graveyard to get stuff back. Goes attacking. Gets back more Prized Amalgams. Yeah, I mean, this is game. Yeah, I mean, we'll play it out. The thing is, so we Damnation here. The problem is they have Bloodghast in their graveyard. So Bloodghast just immediately rebuilds their whole board by just playing a land. So they play a land, they get back the Bloodghast, they get back at least 3 Prized Amalgams. And they, well, they're going to get back 1, 2... They're going to get back 3 Bloodghasts and 3 Prized Amalgams, so they just instantly get a lethal board again for just playing a single land. And they go even deeper now. So they just get back everything. Yeah, Anger is good against this deck. We don't have Angers, but yeah, there's land. Alright. And the thing is, even if we live, they just win with Conflagrate by dredging back lands. What is the deck I dislike so much and you'll never play it? Burn and Boggles are near the top of my list. I have played Burn before, but those are at the top of my most hated deck lists. What's up, Sethro Jenkins? What's the best control option in Standard right now? It might still be Seasons Past, like the green-black Seasons Past deck. Oh, I would play Lantern. I would like playing Lantern. I love decks like that. As weird as it sounds, for some reason I don't like that style of uninteractive deck. They just aren't fun for me, which is probably weird coming from me because I like uninteractive decks that are really annoying for the opponent to play against. But for some reason, it just feels so simple. You just play a hexproof creature, and then you throw some Boggles on, some auras on it, and you win. That said, we may or may not. We have one more budget Magic before Eldritch Moon releases. And we may not be seeing a deck that is Seth Boggles, I guess. If I was going to play a Boggles deck that didn't drive me absolutely insane, that's something I'm working on. So there's a chance we get a sweet take on Boggles. I have played allies before. Yeah, Evangel's good. I should play Experiment, Kraj, and Commander and build a deck around turning planeswalkers into creatures so you can use their loyalty abilities. Ooh, that would be sweet. That would be really sweet. Ooh, I didn't even think of that. The donut that guy to that guy. Alright, so if you want to challenge me to a game of Momir to close out the stream tonight, send me a challenge. I don't think the person that I had said could play me next is here, so the first challenge I get, I will accept, and we will head into the Momir. The world of Momir. So we ended up with this deck, I guess 2 and 4 overall. Not the best of records, but I think it could have and maybe should have been slightly better. I mean, a couple of matchups were pretty bad. I would say that Dredge was pretty bad. And the Geist deck, or the thing in the Ice deck. Best option for the new standard, I'm leaning towards blue-white. I am most excited for blue-white spirits as well. I think Hate Bears is cool. I like Hate Bears. Oh, 1 a.m. Oh, is that a bad look for Momir? Not a Momir fan? Some people really like it. So we don't play a ton of Momir on the stream, but usually if we wrap up our league early, I like to play a match of it to wrap up the stream. Maybe once a week or every other week. Not a fan of the Hate Bears. A flashlighter? Well, I was giving people a second to challenge me. If not, I will just play something else on my own. Like Pauper. Oh, alright. Malcolm Jr. with the challenge. Well, I'm glad it was Malcolm Jr. because Malcolm Jr. is always hanging out in the stream, so he deserves some Momir action. Alright, Momir time. No, it's... if the Boggles deck works and we actually do it, it'll be sweet. I'm hoping. Yes, blue-black zombies will very likely be on Budget Magic. I am hoping to build a deck for all of these all of the big tribes from Eldritch Moon. That is my goal. So I expect that over the course of... Ooh, too bad our lands were not spirits, or rebels rather. I'm expecting to build a spirits deck, a vampire deck, a zombie deck. I don't know about humans because humans are already kind of known. When it's and a werewolf deck. So at some point before Kaladesh, I'm hoping to feature all of those somewhere on the site. Either in Budget Magic or if we have to, like against odds or something. Kobasar, well, I'm glad you made it. That's awesome. Keep in mind for all the people who are in weird time zones or in time zones where it's very late right now. I believe that next Friday I'll be streaming about 5 hours earlier than I streamed today to do a pre-release event on Magic Online for Eldritch Moon. So if you're looking to catch it at an earlier time, next Friday we'll very likely have an earlier stream. When Pygmy Hippo attacks and isn't blocked, you may have defending player activate a mana ability of each land he or she controls and empty his mana pool. If you do, Pygmy Hippo assigns no combat damage. At the beginning of your next main phase, you add an amount of mana, of colorless mana equal to the mana emptied. So basically it drains all my mana and gives it to our opponent? That card's actually pretty good. I guess that means we got to make a 3-drop, even though it's going to make us play off curve. Because we really can't get hit by that. That would... be... Oh, no, a phaser. If I'm understanding that right... But does that even do it with tap lands? Oh, so I can just tap out in response? Oh, that card's way worse than I thought. Why was this a rare? Maddening Imp. Non-wall creatures. The active player controls attack this turn if able. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy each of those creatures that didn't attack this turn. Activate this only during opponent's turn and only before combat. That is... Some of these old cards have the weirdest wording. Non-wall creatures the active player controls. What kind of wording is that? Why doesn't it just say non-wall creatures your opponent controls? Because it says you can only activate it on your opponent's turn. Oh. Old school Magic design. I'm still not sure I understand this. So it attacks, and if it isn't blocked, you may have defending player activate a mana ability of each land he or she controls. What is it with this wording? And empty his or her mana pool. So does that mean the lands have to be untapped, or can it suck lands from... Alright, so it only adds mana equal to the amount of mana that was emptied from the mana pool. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with this card. It was around when Mana Burn was around, I know that. Alright. Not great for a 4-drop, because we aren't casting spells. Something will happen. Okay. So I guess it's not that bad for a 2-drop, but it does nothing if your lands are tapped. That's the part I was worrying about. If it somehow... Because it doesn't say, like, tap all the untapped lands your opponent controls. It says activate a mana ability for each land he or she controls. Ooh, Reaper of the Wilds is decent compared to everything else on the board. Yeah, Zendred Swarm is better, I believe, but... Yeah, we have hit a lot of really weird creatures in this match. But we are Blight Speakering our opponent's life total away. Well, at least Scrying isn't very valuable in Momir. Oh my god. That Imp is actually really good. Have I gotten Grizzlebrand in Momir yet? I have before. Yeah. We did Mono Black Devotion. Now we're on to a game of Momir. We were playing Mono Black Devotion. You should play against the odds where you give your opponent's lands sack abilities to add mana to their pool and then destroy all the lands with Pygmy Hitmo. That would be sweet. Like just give them City of Brass, so then every time it taps it, they take a damage and burn them out. City of Brass, burn. Donate City of Brass, Pygmy Hippo, and Twiddles to keep tacking the City of Brass. Yeah, the Rebel dies now, but it would have died from slamming into Pygmy Hitmo anyway, so we might as well get in the 1 damage. Mono Black Devotion was... I think we were a bit unlucky, but we only went 2 and 4 between matches in a league. Like 1.5 of those games where we just got mana screwed, and that's why we lost. We just couldn't do anything. And then we ran into a couple bad matchups. It felt like it had a really bad matchup against Storm and against Dredge. It felt pretty bad. So I can just like tap out in response to this and it does nothing. Yeah, it's not that exciting. Leanne and 33, thank you for the follow. Whoa! It gave him 5 mana! Oh, because the mana was in my mana pool? Oh, Lord. Yeah, the list is still available. So I guess you can't just tap out in response. Well, at least they only got an 8/8. That could have been worse. It's only a Dread Cacodemon. We can get a 6-drop that's better than that, right? Aerial Caravan. Exile the top card of your library until your end of turn. You can play that card. Reveal the card as you exile it. Nice reminder text. Opponent. Oh no. Another big flyer. And then we're going to have to suicide our Aerial Caravan into this Oros because of Maddening Imp. Our opponent's stuff has just been way better than ours. At just about every point on the curve. I don't know if there's a 7-drop. I guess Platinum Angel has a 7-drop that could save us. Huh? Is why can't I tap my lands? Yeah, it is a pretty good curve. If I click Momir, it will only let me tap my planes. That's so weird. Alright, well I guess we gotta tap our lands first. It's just cumbersome, because then we gotta do all this clicking over here. And come on, Platinum Angel! Or Sphinx, alright. We're dead, right? Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, that was a pretty good curve for Momir. I will give our opponent credit for that. Very solid. Alright, let's see if we can get the good curve this time. Yeah, Moto wants a 1-drop. Whether we want it or not. Alright, we get to play first. And we're not going to make a 1-drop. What if we... Yeah, no. 0 drops, you get a 1 in 11 chance of hitting a Dryad Arbor. That might be the best odds of hitting a mana creature. But the other ones are completely dead. So I don't know if it's worth the risk. So I think your odds are higher, but if you make a 2-drop, at least you're getting something and you still have some chance of hitting a mana creature. Lighthouse Chronologist is actually pretty absurd. So I think we're going to be leveling this up. It's not quite I win the game for 2 mana like a Phyrexian Revoker or Azorius Guildmage, but we're going to get to start digging a lot of extra turns. Opponent gets a Bramblewood Paragon. I don't think I've ever gotten a Lighthouse Chronologist in this game before, and I only have like 6 islands, I think, in this deck. So the fact that we have 2 islands is kind of absurd. So we can actually level it up in a timely manner. Alright, let's just pass. Do I think mono black control... What do I think of mono black control in Standard? The goal is to survive and ramp with artifacts in certain lands. Thank you for the follow, someone whose name I missed. I think if you're playing with Eldrazi, it can work. If that's the goal, to ramp into Eldrazi. Yeah, good old Lighthouse Chronologist. Well, let's play an island. Level up. Level up. It seems like taking 2 turns to our opponent's 1 should win us the game. Ooh, Selesnya Guildmage. Two more turns of leveling up and we'll have it activated. Birthing Pod's still a really popular casual card. Atsum, thank you for the follow. Yeah, so reminder, while I'm thinking of it, if you subscribe to the MTG Goldfish Replay YouTube, you can check out this stream in the future once it's uploaded, and all our old streams. And if you're looking for ways to support the stream and the site, we have fashionable playmats for sale. Also, signing up for premium on the site is sweet as well. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, we'll take 2. We just want to level up this Lighthouse Chronologist and ride it to victory. So next turn, assuming they don't hit like a Shriekmaw at 5, we just get 2 turns for every one of our opponent's turn. Which is pretty good. Lighthouse Chronologist could be a cool against the odds. I wonder if that could work. Yeah, Pod sees play in Legacy very fringe, but it sees a tiny amount of play. But I think it's a popular casual card, and commander card, and cube card. Meyer Elf, thanks for the follow. Disciple of the Ring, not very good, because there's no instance to exile. Opponent does get to attack with lifelink. Lighthouse Tron. What doesn't Tron work with? Well, we have an active Lighthouse Chronologist. And we hit a Mythic. But it's only a 3/3 flyers. 3/3 flyer. Yeah, Miracles is probably my favorite Legacy deck. Vaults. Alright. 3/3 haste. Well, we can get in with that. So they just have like the Wombo combo. Black creature gives it lifelink. This pumps it up because it's a warrior. Fair enough. Well, I don't think any of that stuff. At the end of each end step, if it's not your turn. Oh, okay. So we gotta wait till after our opponent takes their turn to get our extra turn. So they go here, and then we get to go twice in a row. They get a Soul Flayer. Not good in an all-land format. Yeah, we did a league with Mono Black Devotion. Now we're doing a game of Momir. We haven't done one this week, so to kind of wrap up things. Yeah, 3/3 Haze Flyer's decent at this point. Let's just double block that. That's 5. Well, if we're gonna double block something, we might as well kill this lifelink thing. Yeah, Soul Flayers seem cool, but just not quite good enough. There was a Chromana Flayer deck. That was sweet. Alright, so we get an extra turn. So, come on, no Phage. Actually, I don't even mind if we get a Phage. I've always wanted to hit a Phage. Power and toughness equal to the number of snow permanents we control. So, nice 1/1 flyer. 4-7. Yeah, you can see the list. Just exclamation point deck will take you to the link. So the league, we went 2-3. We lost one game definitely because of mana screw. Or one match. We just got mana screwed both games and never really got to cast anything meaningful. So I think we probably could have been 3-2 or maybe 4-1. So I think the deck is better than the record indicates. Is it insane? No, it definitely has some bad matchups. Dredge seemed to be a pretty bad matchup. The Thing in the Ice Pyromancer Ascension deck seems like a pretty bad matchup. So there's some bad matchups, but it was fun. Played some cool cards, did some good things. Gabriel Angelfire. Beginning of your upkeep, choose Flying First Strike, Trample, or Rampage 3, just in case you want Rampage 3. Yeah, Fulminator Mage probably could be in the sideboard. Alright, so we get our extra turn. And pitcher planes. Oh, man. Well, this isn't quite the dream curve, but this curve is pretty good, and it's going to win us the game. Yes, sorry, Slade Zeno. I was in the middle of a league on stream, so I couldn't really accept the challenge at the time. What's the email address if you have a sweet against the odds brew? Best thing to do is either tweet it at me or send it to saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. Alright. Well, Lighthouse Chronologist confirmed good in Momir. I had an idea for a Tree of Perdition deck with some burn and a bunch of -X auras like Deadweight. Put them on the tree, resolve the ability, and burn them out. That could work. It might. That sounds fun. In like an Enchantressy style deck. You can also do the same thing with just one card, like a Turn to Frog. I think. Oh man, what's that artifact that exiles things from the graveyard? Not Soul Conduit, Soul Separator. If you do it right, you can get a 1/1 Tree of Perdition token essentially using that. Unseen Walker. I have seen Canadian Highlander and read a little bit about it, but I haven't actually played it yet. It sounds cool, though. I think it would be fun. I like the idea of the point system and keeping power level in check that way. Cards in graveyards lose all abilities. It's a good Dredge hate card that doesn't really see much play. Yixid Jailer. Yeah, we'll just stay on defense, make them attack us. Yeah, it's a good Dredge hoser. Dragod, thank you for the follow. Turn to Frog does work. So, Beers SC, what you do is you just tap the tree to activate the ability, and then you would turn to Frog it. The ability would already be on the stack, so even though it's going to lose all the abilities, that ability would already be on the stack. Oh, Burnished Heart. So that would work with Turn to Frog. Have I ever played Solteri Tribal in any format? Tempest Limited? Maybe? I haven't played that in any constructed format, no. It could be cool, though. Go Shadow Aggro. Alright, I guess we lose this little Forest Walker. Our opponent's going to get to double ramp thanks to Burnished Heart. Petition to run Noggle Tribal on Against the Odds. Maybe. Alright, Flashlighter. Thanks for hanging out. we'll be back Tuesday with another one. And then, of course, Commander Clash coming out tomorrow. We're going to have a box opening this weekend. A Commander review with Tomer that me and him did, talking about the Eldritch Moon cards in Commander coming out tonight. So keep up on all that stuff on the site if you get a chance. Some fun stuff. What do we get here? 3/3 Flying Prowess. And Burnished Heart, being sacked. What's the Commander theme this week? Geez. That's a good question. Let me look. We're like a week behind, sort of. Like, just the way that the scheduling works out. So we recorded an episode last night, but that episode doesn't actually go up until next Friday. So what did we record for last week? Oh, it's Magic Origins Flipwalkers. Magic Origins Flipwalkers are the commanders. Oh, Angel of Serenity is pretty much the nuts. One of the best cards in Momir. Also, not only does Eldritch Moon give a 13 drop, it also, thanks Snork45, it also makes 8 drops worse. Because of all the Emerge cards, which actually aren't all that great when you're getting them for 8 mana. So, it'll be interesting. Oh, no! Oh, man. We are so bad. What one was left out? Jace, Nissa, Liliana. Oh, no one played Kytheon. Kytheon got left off. We did do one viewer submission one so far. I think we'll do another one at some point. Our opponent gets another huge flyer. You never know with Momir. That's what makes the format so fun. You can go from being super dead to being super ahead in one play. So hopefully this is that play. I don't know what 7-drop we want. Probably Angel of Serenity, actually, or Platinum Angel. Or Quilled Slagworm. Nice vanilla 8/8. What's up, Amsh 2001? I am playing Nissa. Alright. Sibsig Muck Draggers. Eldrazi Titans for Commander Clash. We thought about that. It seems weird to do colorless versus colorless versus colorless versus colorless, but maybe it would be a good plan to do all colorless decks. It just seems like the decks would actually be pretty similar. Yeah, I think people get to meld in Momir. Well, that would have been good if we weren't dead to the Flyers. Alright, Full Metal. If you send me a challenge, I will, for our last game of the stream, I will play a game of Momir with you. So, Full Metal 779, send me a challenge. And that'll be our wrap-up. Good game to Malcolm Jr. Thanks for the match, Malcolm Jr. The cons of the clans as commanders. Yeah, that could be a good one. Now, we're going to have an announcement, I think, coming up on not this week's Commanders Clash, but the next week Commander Clash. So you want to make sure you tune into that one. Random Titan, and Random Color. But to play the Eldrazi Titans, though, you would have to be colorless if you play them as your commander, I think. Yeah, you got me, Malcolm Jr. Jr. Well played. Do I have cubes? I have halfway built a bunch of cubes. I kind of have one that's in process now, but I have never actually completed a cube to a point of being able to play it. So, not really, unfortunately. I think it's because I've never actually just like sat down to buy a cube. You gonna send me a? Okay. I think it's because I never really sat down to buy it. I just kind of build it out of cards I get from collections when I'm buying collections and stuff. So I always am missing some things, and then eventually it gets broken apart for some reason, and I start over. It varies. Usually 360 is the low end, and then up to like 720, or I guess you go even bigger than that. But usually 360, I think, is as low as you typically go. Use Puka Trade for your cube. I'm sure it's probably a really good way to get cards for cube. About 240 cards in 2 weeks since it's crappy rares people want to send. Yeah, that makes it easy. Against the odds cube, that's actually a really good idea. Against the odds cube would be fun. Now I kind of want to build an against the odds cube. One thing I want more than anything on Magic Online is the ability to build and maintain your own cubes. I would play so much money. Hopefully this is you, whoever I said I would play against. Because I got a challenge. I'm going to accept it. If I could build my own cube on Magic Online, even if Wizards charge ticks to be able to draft it, that would be so amazing. They have cube drafts on Magic Online every so often, but not all the time, and it's only like cubes that Wizards has made. So you can't really build your own cube. Oh, Time Civ, yes. Bad news, the bad news about Time Civ is we have Eldritch Moon coming up, and I think that's going to take over everything for a few weeks, so it might be a minute until we actually get to it. 3/3 Death Touch for 2 is pretty good in Ren Run Vanquisher. I don't know why I was trying to say Packmaster. I think that's the champion card, actually. We get Returned Phalanx. I played a lot of this card in Theros Limited. This was one of my favorite cards to draft. So good. My local card shop is doing a sealed league. Should I play or just buy the packs? Only cost... Oh, well... I mean, if you like playing sealed, 100% play it. There's really... I can't think of any downside to opening your packs and playing sealed with them and probably potentially being able to win prizes compared to just buying the packs. So very little reason not to do that. Have you ever played Zedruu EDH? I have not. Richard tried playing it one time, and it was pretty buggy on Magic Online. It would be fun. It sounds like something I would like playing. Wow! Mogus! Oh, so at the beginning of my upkeep, I gotta take 2 or sack a creature? That is incredibly annoying. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna take 2. Yeah, I'm going to avoid playing an island. I'm actually going to discard my islands first so we don't accidentally play one. Blazing Hellhound. Yeah, it seems like pretty much a free roll to play in the sealed events. Norin is another fun build around one. Part of their thing is, Valvery, is that we have had a lot of themes. Almost every episode. I think we've had one just like free for all episode. Oh my goodness, my opponents are just so good at Momir. So good. They're getting gods and Shadowborn. Oh, demons. But part of the problem is we just always have themes, which makes it hard to play random things like Norin. The good news is, oh man, I think my video froze up, so if you followed recently, I probably missed your name, and I'm sorry about that. It wasn't my fault. For some reason the video stopped playing on my other monitor. The good news is, though, we're going to start doing more non-theme episodes. Like, maybe more like half and half. Instead of doing themes every single week. Just so we can play more things like that. Alright, let's pitch an island. Lead Golem, whenever it attacks, it doesn't untap the next turn. Okay. Well, Shadowborn dies, right? Oh, you gotta sack a creature, okay. Does this say sack another creature? Oh no, they can sack that eventually. Phantom Worm, not that great. Well, we're taking 5 in the air. I guess we take 2 again. Eventually, we're going to have to start sacking creatures, though. 1-drop general episode. That could be cool. That would be a way to get Norin in there, in a theme. Horde Smelter Dragon. That card was a bomb in Scars of Mirrodin Limited. A Mogis deck? Mogis deck could be sweet as well. The problem with Mogis in Constructed is it's kind of slow in like Modern. Oh, Ameritandris is pretty good in Momir, where everything is a token. Maybe we could try Mycosynth Lattice for against odds. I think I put that on the poll once and it didn't work. Our opponent is so good. So good at Momir. Yeah, Ameritandris is so horrible. Like, that was one of the most disappointing cards in Dragon's Maze. But it happens to be an all-star in exactly Momir. The single best plays for Ameritandris. Yeah, I guess this just wasn't my day. This is the unlucky stream. Apparently. Everyone played Group Hug. Scourge of Neltoth. Well, I guess at least that stops Amira or Shadowborn Demon from attacking me. We do have some big flyers, which is good. I guess we could get back in it. Yeah, Amira can be fine in EDH too. Ooh, non-tribal commander. That could be fun too. Eldritch Moon comes out next Friday, so a week from tomorrow. Whenever you cast a Spirit Arcane spell, gain life equal to the spell's converted mana cost. Alright, just a big flyer. Opponent's going to go attacking. We're going to block. Oh, Salt Incarnate, I'm sorry. My video had froze up, so I missed some follows. Thank you very much for the follow, Salt Incarnate. I meant no disrespect by missing your name. The video, it just froze. I think that this will likely be our last match of the night for the stream. They're going to be starting up a... They have the streamer showdown going on tonight, so that's going to be starting up actually in a little while. Ooh, Baron Senger. So if you're looking for something to watch after we're done, they're going to have a lot of interesting and good community people doing a cube draft. That's why I didn't want a cube tonight, because they have that going on all day. Well, luckily we're empty-handed, so Mornwelk isn't doing much. Opponent passes. Alright, we'll take 2 more. After this, we gotta start sacking creatures, though. We've went as far as we can with this taking damage thing. Ooh, yeah, Crew of Weatherlight is something... Oh! Got him! Sweet. Hoverguard Sweepers is Angel of Serenity level good. We might actually just win. Actually, we win right now. Wow. Well, alright. I take back everything I said about our opponent getting lucky, because we are also getting lucky. Super lucky. So I guess I am good at Momir too. They don't have Community Super League. The season of that ended. They have what they call the Streamer Showdown that they do every once in a while. So basically what it is a cube draft. Let me see who's playing in it. I think there's some pretty big name people playing in it. But that's starting in about 15 minutes or so. Let's see. So I did one earlier in the day. This one, EM, Morgan, Noah Sandler, Neil Oliver. A lot of these people, I don't know them by their actual name, but I probably know them if I knew their Twitch name. Hey, no, living in upstate New York, if I'm going to go to college in Binghamton, any chance I'll run into you? I mean, there's a better chance of running into me in Binghamton than in another state. I don't go to Binghamton a ton, but I do go to Binghamton on occasion. So it's not impossible that you'd run into me. Hey, alright, we get to shuffle in our hand and get a new bunch of lands. Yeah, it's a pretty cool show. I'll probably be jumping around and watching some of it as well. If you're interested in checking out the Cube, it's a good place of doing that. Actually, we gotta skip this drop. Yotan Soldier. I was thinking you should have a day where you go to New York and sign cards for people one day. That could be fun. One thing I did not know is, until semi-recently, is I actually live maybe hour and a half-ish, 2 hours from Wedge, that does the Mana Source YouTube. And also, this I did know, but the headquarters of TCG Player is in Syracuse. So there might be a way to do some event in Syracuse. It would be kind of cool to... I'll have to talk to Wedge and see if we can do some sort of, like, come out and hang out event in Syracuse sometime. Maybe at TCG if they're interested in it. Some sort of fun, I don't know, public event. Yeah, I like Wedge too. I'm right here, Atsum. Oh, where do I live? I live in the middle of nowhere in upstate New York. But yeah, you can't play Snow Basics, unfortunately. You know, I guess we just block this Vigilant thing. Our opponent hitting the rares, exile all artifacts and enchantments, and it'll become an 8/8 with Vigilance. Not a horrible 5-drop, especially since our opponent's been playing planes like crazy. Or a Commander Clash where you each build super competitive decks and then randomly distribute the decks to players. That could be cool. We've talked about doing some sort of random deck type of thing where we get decks for each other somehow or build decks for each other, but we haven't really figured out exactly how to do it. I probably won't really get into politics stuff on the stream, MRC cubed, but I'm sure if you follow me on Twitter or any of that stuff, you probably have a pretty good guess of where my personal political leanings are, and could probably figure it out. But I don't want to really get in a political debate on stream. I'd rather just have fun and play Magic here. That's what the stream is about. Not that I mind you asking, but just such a unfortunately contentious topic in the U.S. right now with politics. Doesn't seem like a good place to just stir up that debate. There's more productive places to have that conversation. But if you want to talk about it on Twitter sometime or something, I'm more than willing to talk about stuff. At the beginning of our upkeep, if we control a blue permanent, we get a copy of Mirror Sigil Sergeant. Unfortunately, we just chumped with our only blue permanent. I'm voting Bolas. Nah. Yeah, if I had to vote for a Magic character, who would I vote for? That's a good question. We're just gonna lose, aren't we? It's starting to feel like that. They got this huge flyer. We hit the 1/1 for 5. So what we want here is a big blue flyer. What does SCG do for Commander Versus? Oh, is Commander... Wait, no, what do you mean? I'm so confused. Ooh, Hannah, that's a good old school one. In Name Death's aspect, she'll lower taxes and raise the dead, Liliana, yeah? Oh, come on, big blue flyer. Oh, not big or blue or flying. Vote for Obsidat or Norin. Lots of good ideas. We'll have to hold a MTG election and have people vote. We're gonna block. If they go monstrous, they go monstrous. There's not much we can do about it. I guess we could have double blocked. If they go monstrous, though, they lose their soldiers. We're gonna have to hit another Hoverguard Sweepers or something. Alright. Come on, Hoverguard Sweepers! One time! Or the bouncing everything Kraken. Hexproof, yeah, not flying, and that does it. Well, our Momir luck, not that strong. Good game, good game. Grand Emperor Augustine the Fifth, yeah, or Fourth, yeah. That's a good political Magic character. Zedru for president. Thalia is big on taxes. Indeed, Marty. That's true. You can vote for the original Thalia, and then the new Thalia can be the VP. Oh. So we have another game. I was mistaken. Doesn't matter who you vote for. We all got the Azuria's filibuster card. Yeah, Azor's elocutor, something like that. Elocutors is kind of not a real word. We'll keep. Yeah, you don't want to vote for the Traitor of Mortals. That would be a painful presidency. Personal incarnation. Alright, let's make a 2-drop. Let's get lucky. Nurturing Lycid. So there's some weird cards. It kind of gives you this odd infinite blocker by turning it into an aura and back, but it's not all that great. Ooh, Niv Mizzet would be a good one to lead a country. Smart, cunning. Yeah. Yeah, I might vote for Niv Mizzet. Yeah, Soren would be brutal. Needle Spectre. When he deals combat to... Oh! Oh my goodness! Oh! I swear, if we don't hit a flyer, we are so incredibly unlucky. And we get a Lessalana Huntmaster. Well, maybe our opponent will block. Yeah, but Jace just doesn't look presidential. What's up, Shroud Grashi? So we get to start discarding cards, which means we're not going to get up to making 8 drops, which means our odds of winning is dropping by the second. Needle Spectre is pretty dang good. Well, alright. Our opponent at least bounced their own Needle Spectre. So it wasn't as devastating as it could have been. Thank God. They hit the one of the best 3 drops into one of the worst possible 4 drops. I don't think you want to vote for something called Sire of Insanity for president. That sounds risky. Gideon seems to be a good leader, but I'd vote for Uzuri because he's won me countless games. Opponent. Alright, give something +2/+2 until end of turn. What modern deck should I buy? Play Mizzet EDH in Mono Blue Brains in Standard. You could look into something like Blue Red Storm or the Blue Red thing in the Ice deck. Those are probably the most comparable modern decks to... Ooh, sweet. Pumping up our warrior, and we have a warrior. Those are probably the most comparable modern decks to what you play in Commander and in Standard. Something that's playing is it playing a bunch of spells? Yeah, I would start looking there. They're not tier 1 decks. If you're looking for a tier 1 deck, that's a much better question. What would fit that ideal? Maybe like a Grixis Delver, sort of? It's more creature-y than those other decks. But something along those lines. Child of Alara would give us all a fresh start. That's what Child of Alara does. Come on, Warrior, or Barbarian, or Berserker. You never know. And we get Flood Chaser. Can turns lands into islands. But we gotta play blue mana, which we don't have. At least our opponent controls an island, so we can't attack. Nahiri Jeskai. Yeah, I guess Nahiri Jeskai is a good call. It doesn't really have the big turn feel like some of those other decks, but as far as playing a bunch of blue and red spells and winning. What tier would I say Mono Green Stompy is in Modern? I mean, I guess it depends on how you break down the tier system. Probably whatever the lowest of the tiers are, tier 3, I guess. It's a deck that occasionally... Ooh, Theximundar. It's a deck that occasionally shows up on the lists of the top performing decks. It's normally not more than one copy, like someone wins the league with it or an event with it. So it's good enough that in the right tournament and with a little bit of luck, you can 5-0 something with it or do well at an event. Not GP level events we haven't seen yet, but smaller events. But it hasn't really gotten any higher than that so far. Alright, get rid of that thing before it edicts us to death. Swamp, and time to see if we can hit a phage. Still have never hit a phage in my entire life of Momir. I wonder, have any of you seen anyone hit a phage recently? Like, is that still a thing that happens? Have they, like, made it so you can't hit a phage in Momir or something? Because I have never hit a phage, ever. And I've played a lot of games of Momir. I keep thinking that just sooner or later, it's gotta happen. Okay, so there are still phages. I guess I'm just not lucky enough. Oh, that's right, Wedge on CSL. Yeah, that's right. That's a good call. Forgot about Wedge on CSL. You hit phage the first time you played and haven't played since. It can be an infuriating format. Oh god, this pumps up opposing creatures too? Alright, let's block. Yeah, I didn't realize that it worked that way, but that's fine. Now we got the flyer, and they have a Vanishing Treefolk. I don't think I've ever hit a Primetime either, come to think of it. There's a lot of variance at 6 mana, and still quite a bit at 7 mana, so I don't even know if it's like... Ooh, man, good lord. Sundering Titan is another reason why playing lands of every color is risky. Oh man, we're gonna put our opponent to 2 mana. Oh, or 3 mana. Sundering Titan might even be better than Primetime, come to think of it. I'm voting for Sundering Titan. Oh, he will destroy the lands of our enemies. All 5 of them. And our opponent has a Vanisher. So they're back to making 4 drops. What 4 drops? I guess they can just hit endless Necrotals. Also, Flailing Manticores. What does this do? Flying First Strike. +1/+1, any player may activate it. -1/-1, any player may activate it. Alright, well. I guess we'll give it -1/-1. That card's pretty bad. And it's only a 3/3. Not even like that far above the curve. Oh man, and an Elvish Bard to make sure there's no blocking shenanigans next turn. So our opponent drops to 1, and I don't think there's a 4-drop that can get them out of it. No, Full Metal, that Sundering Titan is a little bit better than Galma's Warden. Just a smidge. But just for fun, I'm going to make an 8-drop. I could Wrath my own board here. Does something horrible happen? Not really. We still get to get in with our Sphinx. And we'll attack with our Sphinx for the win. Yeah, I probably should have went with Phage. Someday I'll just have to play Momir making 7 drops until I hit a Phage. I have hit World Gorger before, which is not quite as instant lose as Phage, but still pretty bad in most board states. And I've hit like levelers and things like that. I've hit auto lose cards, just never Phage in specific. So, no, there is no Unglued or Unhinged on Magic Online, other than a couple of random promo cards. But those sets are not online. So you just gotta, as Flatter, you just have to go to 7 and make 7 drops forever. Well, a reminder, if you are, oh, thank you, Maverick. I'm glad the decks are helpful. If you're looking for old streams, and thank you for the match, Full Metal. That was fun. Thank you so much. That was a good game, even though I lost, unfortunately. But you can find old streams on the replay channel, and we still got playmats hanging around if you want one. So, Mono Black Devotion, decent, not insane, could have got a little luckier. Maybe we'll revisit it in the future. I like the idea of it. But anyway, everyone, we have, let's see, a Commander Top 10 countdown with me and Tomer coming out tonight on YouTube. Tomorrow, Commander Clash, of course. Normal articles, a box opening this weekend. So keep your eyes open for all that stuff. And I will be back on Tuesday for another stream. Tuesday at 7. I don't know what we're playing yet, but it'll probably be sweet. One more week while we wait for Eldritch Moon. And then we're going to be playing a ton of Eldritch Moon. So yeah, it was fun to play Mono Black again. So I think that's going to be everything for tonight. If you're looking to watch some more Magic, check out the Streamer Showdown. There's some sweet people doing a Vintage Cube draft that's starting 1 minute from now. But have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks for hanging out, and I will be back on Tuesday for the next one. I'll see you then.